Had a request on how to regulate the temperature in your incubator, so this is the video. The first thing that I cannot stress enough is your environment for the incubator. You really need a room that is steady in its temperature and its humidity. It doesn't matter how fancy your equipment is, that is what's going to affect it, because the mechanics of the incubator just simply won't be able to keep up with the wild fluctuations if you have it out in an uninsulated barn, especially early in the year where temperatures can change, 40 degrees from daytime high to nighttime low. We've got our first one up and running here. I've been running it all week, testing the temperature and getting it dialed in. I replaced the wafers in both of my 846s for this season. Now, here's your wafers. And as you can see, this one is wide. This one is narrow. I don't know if you can hear it. That one sounds like it has liquid in it. That one sounds empty. So this one is probably spent. This one I can keep as an emergency backup just to get me by if I have to. Now, I was asked what wafer I got, and for the most part, wafers are fairly universal from what I've seen. Smith Poultry and Game Birds, who I got mine from, and the wafer is right here. Georgia Quail Farm product, $7.85 out of this year's catalog. Now, I will say there is another type of wafer, so you do have to look at your incubator, because I have one that is exactly the same as this, except here it has a little stump that protrudes out like 1/4 of an inch, and if you try to use this style, it will not make contact in your incubator and will not work properly. So if you have that style and you're ordering, you want to make sure to let them know that, and it wouldn't hurt to send them pictures or something like that too. So right now, this red light's on, which means it is currently heating. Once the wafer disengages, the light will go off, and that will tell you that it is no longer heating, but the temperature is stable. Now, the other step in getting your incubator regulated is to not constantly be lifting the lid to check it, because you'll never get anywhere with doing that. So I take my light and I just shine it in here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not. There we go. And I read my incubator thermometer through that little hole. All right. And to adjust it, all I have to do is loosen this wing nut and turn this screw. You barely want to turn it. Basically, you want to turn it just enough to either turn this light on or off, depending if you're trying to go up or down, and then wait for it to adjust. Come back in an hour, check it, see where it's at. That's really all there is to it. So, as you can see on my table here, I have a thermometer sitting out, and it wouldn't hurt to actually have a little chart wrote up where every time you check your incubator and you check your tabletop thermometer, you write down both temperatures so you can see if the room is fluctuating and if the incubator is fluctuating. Now, to change out your wafer, or I haven't put this back on this one yet because I wasn't sure if I had it screwed on completely straight. Kind of plays tricks with your eye. But basically this cover keeps the chicks from picking at the wiring and that sort of thing. All you got to do is there's a little square nut here, a little square nut there. You undo them, pull this off, and you have full access to the wafer. And it just screws right on that little adjustment screw. And it's just that simple. Now, since you see in here, you might be wondering what I've got going on. And there's a couple of things. First of all, this incubator is the same exact model as that incubator. Alright? But I want to use one for hatching and one for incubating. So what I've done with this one is I made little compartments. So in order to keep track of what's hatching, this is what I came up with. It's zip tied to the hail screen bottom that comes with the incubator, and I have made a series of little compartments with lids all zip tied together. Now I've got, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, so I've got 12 compartments. Alright, and if you're only doing one pair of one color or something like that, or even if you're doing multiple pairs of one color, this allows you to keep track of which chicks came from which pair. So what I'll do is I'll put the eggs from pair 1 here, pair 2, pair 3, and so on. And then I shut this, and I'll actually take bread ties and I'll tie it shut so that they can't try to climb over and intermingle. And then when it comes time to remove the chicks, all I got to do is open this up, and I can take a chick out, set it back down, mark the chick, put it in the brooder, and then I have everybody marked right there on the spot. Here too, I also have a thermometer. So you really got to watch your temperatures, and your temperature and humidity does depend on what species you are trying to raise, just like how it takes different times for different stages of development for different species. Chickens are 21 days. There are some other types, I believe it's early in the morning, so forgive me, but I believe ducks are 28 days, so they take an extra week. Alright, now also when you're cleaning, you want to inspect and look for any damage on all the heating. And then you take this cover off, you want to look at your wiring too. And if you don't know how to do wiring, get it to somebody who does. You don't want to burn your house down over a bunch of chicken eggs, okay? So, hope that answers a few questions. You don't have to order the wafers through Smith Poultry Supply. There's plenty of other hatcheries. I just like them because they're regional, they're a small operation, and they come to the swaps and auctions I go to, so it makes it easy for me to pick up things on the fly if I need to. I mean, they do ship, but I can look at something and inspect it before I make a purchase, which I really appreciate. So, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, share, all of that good business. So, have a good one.